Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your perspective on the world, and welcome. My name is Brandon Wendell, Chartered Market Technician, and I'm going to do some analysis on some of the cryptocurrencies I've been following. Starting off with the weekly chart of the big one, the crypto granddaddy, if you will, Bitcoin. As you can see on the weekly chart, we are bearish. We've had a big drop and don't really have a good demand zone here. We may actually continue to slide down. Our nearest real level of demand is down here at 19,000. Kind of concerning is that we went below 40 on the RSI. The last time we were there is below 40 was back in March of 2020, and that was before we had our explosive move up from 10,000. So we're back in bearish territory. We didn't even get there on our last crash we had back in early 2021. So this is extremely bearish and suggests that this downward move is going to continue down towards that 19,000. If we drop down to a daily chart, again, you can see the trend very strong to the downside. As a matter of fact, I think we could even put in a trend line now. Yeah, I guess we don't have three full touches. No, we do. We have the third touch that confirmed. So we have a nice downward trend that's intact. And now we need to look to see where are we going to stop the move down, because this does not look good for you longs in Bitcoin. There's still lots of bearishness here. We're coming down towards an area of demand right now as we speak. It is this little rally-based rally at about 32,607. If we end up breaking that, let's see where we're going to next. Well, we were heading down towards that weekly demand, to be honest with you, but there is another area of demand along the way right here at about 23,837. That'll be our next, I'm sorry, yeah, 23,837 for our next target on that move to the downside. So got first target of 32,607 for a possible bounce, second target 23,837. Kind of curious if we look at the last impulse that occurred here, if we've got a measured move already. And depending on where you start this measured move, we could expect a little bit of a bounce here. So we had an impulse down, correction back up. Really, this is where we should be measuring. That's the correction right there. And we've exceeded target 1, so we're headed to target 2, which is 32,000 basically. So that's what this is suggesting. Then, as you can see, the next impulse down should take us down to 24,274. So dropping to a smaller time frame, just kind of fine tune this. You really want to be on the bearish side of Bitcoin. There's no reason for it to go up. If we get any sort of a rally, well, this is not a good zone right here, so that wouldn't necessarily hold well. The nearest supply zone that I have on the 4 hour is actually pretty high. It's all the way up here at 42,800, but I don't see us moving that high. If we do end up rallying from these lows, I would actually look for a Fibonacci retracement. So maybe this 23.6, it's kind of a zone. You got a little base drop right there. And then that 50% lines up with what we saw. It didn't quite qualify as a zone because of that wick that came down, but overall, I think that's where we're headed. If we get any bounce, 38,662, that'd be a great shorting opportunity to target the 32.6, and then again, all the way down to that 23,000 level. So looking back a little bit, I just want to see if there's anything else along the way here that we could see as stumbling blocks. And there is. We have a really good area of possible demand, starting off this buying pressure that began right around 29,906 as well. And this is pretty much the same as what we saw on the daily. So what I would see, if we are starting to bounce a little bit, it's going to be a very small bounce. I don't see us getting above this 38,662 very high. That would be your shorting opportunity. So let me kind of draw out what I'm seeing. Kind of a weak bounce up to this area, then that continued move down to target 1, then eventually down to target 2. So that's what I'm seeing in Bitcoin. We can move on to Ethereum, and again, start off in the big picture, go out to the weekly chart here. Let me clean this up, and we'll see what we have there. Okay, so looking at Ethereum here, again, the weekly chart, very bearish. First time below 40 on the RSI since 2020 as well. Going down to the daily time frame, let's see what's going on there. Very bearish still, and our nearest demand zone looks like we've got maybe a little bit of demand right here that we're coming into. You got rally, base, and a little rally, but this is not going to hold up. You can see we got more momentum to the downside than we've had before. So likely to continue to push down. And on the daily demand, as far as Ethereum, we have, this is a tested zone, but that's it, down at 1713. If we go below that area, we could push all the way down as low as 775, honestly. Okay, so we have lots of bearishness potentially here on Ethereum as well. So if we do get a little bounce out of this, again, we want to see where we might bounce to. Dropping down to the 4 hour time frame, there is an area of supply that we could rally back up to right here. And that would be the opportunity to short once again at 28.30 to 28.99. And this may end up being something here too. I'm not sure. Let's see. The low is 2466.20, and here close 2466.04. So that closed a little lower. So yeah, this is drop-based drop as well. So we have a couple of areas of supply right nearby that could cause more pressure to the downside if we get a slight bounce. So actually, I'm looking at selling opportunities 25.40 or 28.30 down to the 17.13 level. Moving on to XRP, pretty much everything's going to be about the same. We got lots of weakness, no signs of any kind of strength coming back in these markets anytime soon. And on XRP, we're in a demand that's been tested. Looks like it wants to push down lower, down into the 27-cent area, going into the daily time frame. Yeah, just not seeing anything stopping it. Unfortunately, there's just so much weakness going on right now. Yeah, we might get a little bounce here. As you can see, we just made our measured move to the downside, basically duplicated the previous impulse. But that's going to lead to continued selling pressure. And yeah, this is also a demand zone, which is why we're bouncing there. It wasn't just really the Fibonacci, but it was this. You had a drop-based rally area of demand right there. So that's why we're bouncing. But if we end up bouncing, I would look for 4-hour supply zones to continue to sell off all the way down to that 27-cent area or even lower. It looks as though our nearest area of demand right here is, I guess it is about 27 cents. That's what we're looking for, about 27.7. So let's go down to that 4-hour time frame and see if we can fine tune an entry area if you're looking for a sell. And we got a couple of areas. We got this drop, base drop, 62.2, 65.28. And then just above it, this one's probably a little bit stronger because it's a stronger move out, but it's 66.70 to 68.51 that I'm seeing here. And there's just no hope for this. There's so many different selling opportunities. Again, that's even a kind of zone on zone right there. On to Cardano, pretty much same picture. If you go to a bigger picture weekly, this doesn't look as weak because we do have a little bit of positive divergence going on. So this is the first time I'm seeing something that's showing a little bit of life. Cardano is trying to make fresh lows here, but the momentum indicator is actually showing that it doesn't have the momentum to continue down. Now, if we were to break down, the nearest area of demand, I would say, is this. Even though it's been violated, there's kind of good buying pressure in that 38-cent area. But going down to the daily chart, let's see what's going on. Yeah, look at that. Buying pressure just came in at the end. And again, we've got a divergence. This is suggesting that we might get a nice little bounce on Cardano, where prices made fresh lows. The indicator saying, nah, we don't have as much bearish pressure as we once had. Therefore, we might be getting a little bit of a bounce. So let's take a look and see. Was this happening at a good demand zone? Because there may be a buy opportunity then. And it doesn't look it, honestly. Now we're kind of in the middle of everything. This was drop base and yeah, small rally, but it's been tested too many times. As you can see right there, drop base rally, tested. So might just be a small move up. Next area that we're looking at, the wick kind of throws everything off, but this would be your next area of demand, perhaps. You could argue, nope, that doesn't work. It's this 44 cents is the next area. So going back to current price, I would say this may just be a small bounce. And this is actually a supply zone that we have. Should we bounce up to the 141, 163, that may give us that selling opportunity down to the 44 area. So as much as I'd like to see it bounce, it doesn't look like it's going to be much out of this. And we could try going down to the 4-hour chart to see if there's any kind of adjusting. And actually there is a little bit lower here. You can see there's a really good zone. So instead of waiting for it to go all the way up, you got 137.65 as a possible entry here, rally-based drop. So if we bounce, that's where we're likely to target right now, the 137. So if you're looking for a buy opportunity, you got to find a smaller time frame buy opportunity inside of this move, and then target, like I said, 137. Then look to go short from 137 down to 50 cents or even lower. So and we might have missed it. As you can see, this is a live market, and we had a drop, base, rally. There we are, bouncing off that area. I think we're going to get another chance at this, though. I don't think this is done bouncing. I think because we have very little bullish momentum, it's still pretty bearish, but we're getting less bearish than we were before. This is kind of a weird zone because that long wick, it doesn't look very good. I think we're going to come back into this area again. So we'll see if this ends up forming as a new zone, but there still may be buying pressure left in this 105 area. Again, you know, we missed this bounce, but because we started with a move from under 40, we're not likely to take out this high at 114. So we'll get a pullback. And if we come in this 104 area again without going below 40, that's where you'd look to buy. And I'm not sure if I can fine tune this anymore. I mean, maybe I go down to a 15-minute, you know, the 15. Yep, this is your demand down here. That's one. This is the one that was already used. Drop, base, and there's your rally. There's your reaction. See, it was just about at 40, but it needs to be above in order to make new highs. So I think we might still come down a little more, maybe touch 98.32 to 92. That would be the buy opportunity targeting 137. So that's what I'm seeing right now on Cardano. Moving on to Solana. And I think we have pretty much more of the same. Again, I'll go to the big picture here of the weekly, see how bearish it is. And we have not gone below 40, but we're sitting there right now. And there's really no reason for price to stop right here. There's no demand until you reach 29.51. So we go down to the daily time frame. See what we got going on there. And drop, base, drop. Now it doesn't work there. Almost did. There's a little bit of demand, a little higher and then the weekly. Let me zoom in on that to see if I got drawn correctly. Lots of bear. I'm just shocked at how bearish these currencies are. Anyway, rally, base, rally. You actually have a zone on zone there as well. Two zones right there. So 44.87, 44.76, and then 42.76, 41.64, I think. No, it's 41. Can't read it. Yeah, 64, 39, 32. There is also another area up above here. I'm not sure if that one's been tested yet, but we've got drop, base, rally, and then rally, base, rally up higher right here. So let's go and see. I think those have been tested. Yep, that's where we are right now. I'm trying to bounce 90.26. It's not going to hold though. So it looks like we're going to continue to push down towards that next target at 74.88. But if we do bounce, there may be a selling opportunity right here. You've got rally, base, and drop. So look at that as a selling opportunity from 139.82 down to the 74.88 zone. Dropping into a 4-hour time frame to see if there's anything in between. And yeah, we do have something. Doesn't look great though. I was thinking there might be something here that doesn't work. And you got rally, base, drop. If we get that high. Just trying to see. I was thinking maybe this, but the problem is drop, base, drop. No real follow through after that leg out. So I don't know how good that's going to be. I'd say hold off for the 139.69 if you're looking for the short. Targeting the 74.88. And we can drop it down to 60, see if there's anything else we could look at there, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, we're trying to bounce just a little bit right now, and that would be first area. Although you could just say, yeah, the whole thing. There we go. Drop, base, drop. There's several zones along the way. Look at that. Another zone right here, and even just below this one, there's another zone with just the one candle. So lots of stair-step areas along the way that we may pause at. I think we will probably rally up to the 139.69. I don't have anywhere to be able to get long right now, though, in order to be able to get up to that area. But if you form some sort of a zone right now, what you would need, you have drop, you have base, you have a rally, you would need two follow-through candles on the hourly chart, each making a new high, and that would become a demand zone for you to buy. There is positive divergence where prices were moving down, but we're making higher lows on the indicator. That suggests there should be a bounce. And actually, we may not even get up to that area. There's already a zone right here that formed. Oof. 99.76. That may be your first opportunity to short. This hasn't formed yet. Watch that. 99.76, 103.33. Rally based drop may give you an opportunity. And let's see, we could just go down to 74.88. I don't know if we've got anything along the way to hold us up. There we go. Let's take a look. We're bouncing at an area right now, I believe. This is on a very small time frame in comparison. It's 1 hour. There we are. So, giving us more detail here, we do have move, rally, base, and a nice rally. That's a really good zone. And then, let's see, close on our high on this candle is 96.75. Close 98. So that closed above. This is not a zone. Checking. There's nothing really great here either. So that would be it. It would go down to the next area. So looking at this right now, what I've got is, whoops, skip. We may not be done with our downward move. We're getting a small bounce right now. I'm actually thinking possible shorting opportunity at 99.76 with a stop above 103. Target number 1 is 87.34. Target 2 is 74.88. So that's what I'm seeing on some of the cryptos right now. If you got any questions, let me know. Until next time, trade safe, trade well. Love to have you hit the like button and subscribe to be able to follow me and get more updates when I do the next video. So until then, trade safe, trade well, and take care.